Anger and frustration is mounting today in Uvalde, Texas, over the police response to Tuesday's deadly school shooting.
Let us do this, man. Let us do this, man. Come on. Let us do this.
It's hood news.
We need to get everybody back.
It's already been about an hour and they still can't get the kids all out.
This new video shows parents trying to storm the school themselves as police try and hold them back. It's estimated once the shooter gained entry, he was inside the building for 40 minutes to an hour before being shot by Border Patrol agents. It is safe to say that the grieving will go on in Uvalde for weeks to come, but now there is a place for people to mourn away from the school, the main plaza downtown. Today, CTV spoke with residents there, and it looked on as one woman signed a cross bearing the name of 10-year-old Layla Salazar. It was her grandmother, overcome with emotion as she left her message. It reads, "I will always love you, my beautiful granddaughter." This longtime resident says that the whole thing is very surreal.
The community is a close-knit community. I was born here. I went to school here. And it's just so hard to accept, to believe. And it just hurts. My heart hurts. My heart breaks for these little angels and their families.
CTV News Channel anchor Merella Fernandez joins me now from Uvalde, Texas. And Merella, you spoke with some of these people who are, it's just so gut-wrenching and heart-wrenching to hear their heartbreak, hear how they've been affected by this tragedy. What have they been telling you? Tell us a little bit more about how they're coping.
We just spoke to a resident, another community member who is family friends with parents of the victims, one of the victims, a young boy, and he telling us about his love for basketball and the family's love for wrestling and how it is such a small community that clearly it's hard to get away from the impact because it's everywhere. He said he only moved to Uvalde a few years ago, but it's a small town where people know each other and they share their stories and they really enjoy their community. For so much of that community to be wiped away on Tuesday for them is really unbelievable. A short time ago, a prayer group came down to sing a few hymns. People have been coming now to leave flowers at those crosses behind me, 21 of them, one for each member of the community that they have lost today, writing notes, as you saw, on cards here, goodbyes, just to honor the memory of all of the lives cut far too short.
Right, and as that memorial continues to draw people throughout the day, there are still questions about how police responded to this massacre. We are waiting to hear from law enforcement soon, officials there. But what are you hearing from people there about how they feel as to how the police responded?
Yeah. So as you mentioned, we're going to hear from authorities a short time from now. They are expected to speak, and I'm sure that question will come up. Can we learn more about the police response to what happened in an active shooter situation on Tuesday? Because there are reports that it may have taken half an hour just to get into that classroom where the suspect was before he was shot dead by a member of Border Patrol, the law enforcement here, one of the agencies that responded to that situation on Tuesday. So those are the questions that are going to be put forward. Parents were at that school, outside the school. They knew something was going on. They knew a shooter was inside, and they were wondering why they weren't storming that classroom where the suspect was, because he was in there, he had barricaded himself, and apparently they may have had trouble trying to get in there to take care of the situation, to put him down and try and save some lives. So a lot of questions to be asked about the timeline of the event on Tuesday.
Right, and of course there's the ongoing debate over gun control in the United States. The calls for action now only getting louder, Merella.
There are calls for action. Texas is a state, of course, where they embrace the gun culture. Most people are pro carrying guns. They'll have weapons, long rifles. They'll also have handguns. Over the age of 21, you're allowed to have one of those without a permit or without even taking a training course on how to use one. So very there's a documented history here of ownership of guns. There will be calls to put some more measures in place, restrictions in place. But remember, this 18-year-old suspect did not have a mental illness history. He had no criminal record. So it's unclear whether he would have been flagged when he bought those 2 rifles, those semi-automatics, just one on his birthday or just after his birthday, and the next one not too many days after that, as well as hundreds of rounds of ammunition. So would it have been flagged at all? Would it have stopped this horrific series of events? That's really not quite clear. But of course that debate's going to be quite loud. There are some here who don't want to hear that yet. They don't want to hear the politics of this. They're not ready for that. They say they just need some time to mourn. They just need some time to say goodbye and adjust to what has happened in their community.
CTV's Merella Fernandez reporting for us from Uvalde, Texas. Thanks so much.